Welcome, everybody. Slightly different locale for me today. The last time we had Nick had a different locale, but I am here. Nick is here. Nick's tired, but we're gonna energize him. We're gonna get this going. My name's Dan C. Bearded. I am coming to you from Orlando, Florida. We'll talk about it on stream today. And I'm the co-host of the Doctor's Orders live stream on the Dr. Nick's Amazing Man Stuff YouTube channel. If you guys could, hit the thumbs up on your way in. Also, if you want to share this out, who knows? Maybe your Facebook feed has a Hollywood talent producer that was just looking for some follically gifted, some articulately blessed humans, and maybe they like what we got throwing down here. You never know who's watching, you guys, so consider sharing that out. We're gonna have a lot of fun tonight. And the man to the side of me over here that's going to be talking about a comedy show and working out and shoulder problems and who knows where we're going to go with this. This is the man who, no matter the situation, has the plan. Please help me welcome my friend, the founder, the co-owner of Dr. Nick's. Please welcome Mr. Nick Phelps. If you realized how much he did, you would think there's plural of him and there's multiple, and they've actually found cloning already.
Phelps
is
it.
Yep. Yeah, he Phelpses it. And that's not just a verb in the way that when you overanalyze things and you go a little bit too deep, there's multiple of him. So please help welcome the original version, Nick Phelps.
That's what you think.
Nick Phelps.
That means it's working.
We got him right where we want him.
That's right. Coming in with the full listing of Dan's talents that is someday we are as a group going to be discovered for our serious command of the English language and our superlative grasp of syntax.
Yes.
Because it's just it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, you make Michael Phelps jealous,
dude. You can. I've been told, hey, don't be such a Phelps, or like stop being a Phelps, or like why don't you Phelps it? So it is. It can be both a noun. It can be a verb. It can be an adjective. It's very versatile, and also in its plural sense, you can wrestle with yourself whether you feel like following the King's English and putting a comma after the S with no trailing S, or go crazy and just go full on, comma or apostrophe S, just double S it.
Is it possessive? Is it plural and possessive? Like,
for plural, you're supposed to just have the apostrophe, I think, and then for possessive, you're supposed to have the apostrophe and the S. But there are situations where you could have the S, where I've been told it is proper not to. So it's like, but then again, that's like putting a comma, like the Oxford comma, right? Like, do you put the comma before the name in every way that you address somebody? Mm-hmm. I typically do. So if you're going to follow that one, I feel like you got to follow the rest of them. Yeah, it's like you're following a framework. It's not an a la carte, syntax, buffet.
Yeah, in the Oxford comma, that can change the meaning of the sentence. They have like the examples of like grandma and like food and all these different things. So it's for sure. And then, like you said, if you are Phelpsing it, right? Okay, we can be possessive there. But if it's the Phelps house, okay, that's getting pretty heavy. And the ways of use, and we're talking about vocabulary here, there's a cornucopia of options that we can use this term with. It's a noun, it's a verb, Oxford comma.
It all really does come from, once again, just a superlative command of syntax.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Leo says clarity should prevail. Yeah.
It should.
It should.
Leo, but does the best technology ever win? No.
That's true. That's really deep.
I got told that last week in an investor meeting. So it's like just fresh in my head. I figure I'll just, as opposed to exploding when things like that get told to me, I'll just let it ooze out slowly. And that way it's sort of, it's more enjoyable that way for me. More enveloped.
I like that. And shout out to Jill. Jill, I hope you're doing well. We got Dennis in the house. What's up, Dennis? We got Abe. We have Dan B in the house. We got Florida Man in the building while he's at archery practice. That's pretty dang cool.
Hell yeah.
That's really
Shooting
cool.
some gators?
Right. So he works with Gators. Yeah, that's real. I actually get to hang out with him tonight. Him and I get to hang out. Who else do we know from this community? JB, big old beard JB is going to be hanging out today. What up, Born Bearded? Moose is in the house. Joe, Amber, Edgar. Welcome, you guys. We appreciate you guys hanging out. And if at any point you guys have questions for Nick about anything as a person, as life, please do. If you have questions for Dr. Nix as a company, we have Jill in the chat. We've got Nick here. I'm able to answer anything that you guys are wondering. We got Bucky in the house. We got Timothy in the house. What's up, guys? So you're always welcome to have questions. We're just going to talk about some things today. And I think the first one is Nick came in. He had a really good question. And if you guys can relate, let us know in the chat. His question was, have you ever had like a nagging or like a really hurting injury that just keeps persisting to the point where it eventually just makes you tired? Like you're like dealing with this thing. So Nick, what's going on? Talk about your ailment, and then I'll kind of hit you with mine after that. And I think people will relate because I knew exactly what you meant right when you said it.
Well, before I do, I don't want to forget. I just want to point out anyone that's addressing Jill for questions here in the chat should really just adjust their tone, because I asked Jill, just to know how fancy she is. I asked Jill before the stream, I said, my glasses were a little dusty and I don't have one of my 1,000 cleaning cloths laying around. True. So I asked Jill, throw me up a cleaning cloth before the stream starts. And this is just gets all tossed right up here. You got this official Burberry cleaning cloth gets thrown. I didn't know. Listen, I don't know. Pinkies up. Like I didn't know who I was messing with. Getting a Burberry cleaning cloth just thrown up here like all fancy. Like,
and pause real quick. Genuine question: is that how you say? I'm not even lean. Is that how you say the brand name?
I'm sure as hell hoping so, because that's how I've been saying it for a long time.
Oh, so I've always said Burberry.
Burberry. So I don't know. I think who knows who it is,
because I need to know, so I'm not embarrassed if I say it.
Don't like sound like a hayseed.
Right. I mean, I've never owned anything by them, but I remember like wanting the knockoff like wallets and the cologne and stuff. So yeah, I always said Burberry, but you said Burberry?
Burberry, yeah. So we need to ask the audience: are we burying something, or are we picking berries? What are we doing with the Burberry here?
What's up, Baker? What's up, John? Welcome, guys.
Fancy. Okay, so anyway, yes, back to your question. Not my very distracting cleaning cloth tangent. So I would say, okay, so what I've had going on weeks. I think I mentioned it. It's just I had an injury in my right shoulder. My shoulders are crap. I have a way of hurting them. I don't know why. And it was a labrum issue in my right shoulder. And I'm pretty sure I have the same damn thing going on in my left shoulder now. It's either a pinched nerve or a torn labrum. It hurts like hell. And it's been acting up for, I don't know, 3 weeks, over 2 weeks. And it's weird because I'm used to my shoulders getting a problem, right? Because I lift weights, and then I always have a habit of doing the thing that you're not supposed to do, which is going heavy over 40, and it's not good for you. And so
they're right.
Yeah, they're totally right. Like my doctor, he cracks me up. My primary care doctor, he's like, the leading cause of injuries under 40 is that damn fitness. He's like, I'll tell you what, you got to stay away from it. He's like, you were in here a lot less when you smoked and drank. He's like, and like now that you're working out and you're healthy, you're in here like every 3 weeks. He's like, I don't know. He's hilarious.
That is funny.
Yeah. And so I don't know. So anyway, what my point was when I came in and was talking to you, it's like, it's weird because there are a couple of things happened. One, I noticed at the end of the day, I'd start having like this neck back cramp on my left side, and it was a different one than usual. And then I realized it actually wasn't. What's happening, I think, is my shoulder hurts so damn bad that throughout the day, it just radiates and gets bigger and bigger. Right. And then eventually by the end of the day, it feels like a damn back or neck or, like so for like right now, I feel it where it's like here, and it's kind of going down like the side of my bicep into the inside of my elbow. And it's just like a constant kind of ache. And what I noticed this morning, I think, is like I woke up, kind of rolled my shoulder a bit to see how it was feeling. And I'm like, nope, still hurts. And it was like there was like this weird voice inside of me that was like, well, screw it, then go back to bed. And I didn't. I got up and I went to the gym, but it was like it was just one of those days. I think it's just one of those, it's just like whatever it is, day 20 something of something hurting. I think eventually your brain just turns it into fatigue, because it's just tired of dealing with it.
For sure.
I think that's where I'm at today. I think I'm just actually just tired. And
Abe is kind of picking up on something. It's kind of comboed with what?
Well, so yeah, I talk about day. Yeah, as I was talking to Dan before the stream, I realized that aside from taking a little time off last week in the afternoon to go into the city and see Dr. Phil live with Adam Ray, which is what we're going to talk about a bunch today. I haven't really taken like I haven't really had like a full on weekend because we've kind of been doing stuff on the weekends, or I've been here at the shop getting stuff done or working on something else. So it's like whether it was working on something or actually working on work, I've kind of either been here or otherwise working on something for like the past 3 weeks, it feels like. So I haven't had a full-on couple of day in a row break in a while, much less a vacation or anything. So that would be super, super welcomed. Jill and I both need a break. Jill's been burning it on both ends as well, because we do the thing, right? Where it's like if I'm working, Jill's not going to like watch a movie and
right
with a friend and go like have a spa day, right? Because and I don't do that. I don't sit there and play guitar if she's working in the yard, right? So it's like if one of us is doing something, we're both doing something. And so I feel like because I've been slammed, she's been making sure that she's extra slammed, which I probably hasn't taken any effort because she just has a lot on her list and a lot on her plate, both personally and professionally. So it's like I think it's just you're right. Abe hit the nail on the head there, dude. I think we just need to take a couple of days off.
Yeah. And then G Squared has a good question. And we've touched on it long time, probably over a year ago, but you had all sorts of hand problems and all sorts of different problems. But G Squared wants to know if you've ever had a cortisone injection. He's had great success in his hands.
So I have, and I've had tons of cortisone injections and I still get them in my hands. To the point where my doctor got me a special thing that does transdermal injections. So you can do cortisone shots into your joints in your hands with no needle.
Oh, wow.
Which is super freaking cool. It's like Star Trek. He bought it off of like Alibaba or Wish, and like bought it from China and had it shipped over and had it in his office with like the customs forms when I got there one day.
So how does that work?
I'll pull up a photo while we're talking. Pretty sure I'll be able to find it. It's an air hammer. It's like a little aluminum device like this big, and you cock it back like an old pellet gun. And then it's got a little syringe on the front, but instead of being a syringe with a needle on the front, it's just a syringe with a flat, blunt glass surface with a tiny little hole in it. And the little hole is so small that when the air pounds that liquid through the little hole, it goes so fast that it presses straight through your skin. And what you're left with is it looks a little bit like what a little part of a hickey would look like, almost like a little bit of a red spot, but that's it.
Really?
Yeah, it's super duper cool. Hold on, I know I have this photo.
Interesting.
Okay. Let's see. I'll find this. This is going to be good. Yeah, because I used to avoid going in. I used to avoid going in like crazy because I didn't want to get the shots because they hurt like hell.
Interesting. I've never heard of such a thing, but it does look like, is it something like this or a different type?
Way cooler, but similar concept.
Is it like an No, it's not an EpiPen because
Oh, I got it right here. Hold on.
Oh, here we interesting. Go.
I'll find the better one though. I have a better shot right here. Here it is. Okay. So this guy, and the little lever that you see on there is what you cock it with, and the front is where you fill it full of whatever you're injecting.
Whoa.
And it's about the size of, like, the red part's about the size of your palm. And like, I'll give you a size gauge here. Here's my doctor holding it. I'll give a little plug out here to my favorite doctor in the entire world, Dr. Elliot Locke. He is the man. But
it's big.
Yeah, it's sizable. It's like,
interesting.
So it was so cool. I went in there that day, and G Squared, you'll love this, dude, because I don't know where you get your shots, but I used to get mine like right here and right here, like it would be right in the palm. And they would go in at an angle like this so that they could get into the sheath of the tendon in your finger. And so it was incredibly painful to have a needle fishing around in there, right? And so what happens is you have these little sheaths, like these little tubes that carry your tendons down through your palm to your finger, and your tendons slide through them. And the goal is to get cortisone into that sheath so it can reduce the inflammation going down the surface of the tendon in the tissue around it. And so it's got to go in through the A1 pulley, which is right here. And think about like a fishing pole. You got your A1, 2, and 3, and it's like a fishing pole, and it pulls in when you pull the string on the fishing pole, right?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with the pulleys in your knuckles. And so he's like, all right. He's like, the trick though is like there's no needle to feel your tendon like usual. He's like, so I don't know when we're in the right spot. He's like, I put a little bit of lidocaine and a little bit of saline into the syringe, no cortisone yet. And he's like, so the lidocaine, he's like, if I get the angle right, the tip of your finger should go numb, but nothing else. He's like, if you don't get it right, your whole palm's going to go numb because it's just into your palm. And I was like, okay, let's give it a whack. So he like hits it once, and I'm like, my ring finger and my pinky went numb. He's like, wrong one.
Oh my gosh.
Goes and hits it again. He's like, how about now? I'm like, whole palm. He's like, okay, hold on. He hits it again, and I'm like, oop, tip of the finger. He's like, all right, perfect. So he marks it with a Sharpie, puts the cortisone in, and then just hits the same spot again. And so now every time since, he's just a quick little press up against my palm, each finger, and it just kind of feels like a rubber band snapping against your palm, and boom, cortisone delivered.
What? Yeah, and G Squared says he has the same, just one gap over. And Bucky, I thought the same thing. When you first showed that picture, it just looked like a pen.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, exactly. It's it's super freaking cool, and it's just like the thing, and you can set like how deep it goes in there. But I imagine I want to ask him now if he can use that thing on my shoulder to get some into my shoulder. I wouldn't see why not. It's just a little bit deeper tissue,
right?
If it goes that deep.
What's up, Vaughn? New to the show here. He said super excited to finally make it live with Dan. Always catch the replays. Heck yeah, man! And as I posted this to my story on Instagram, so anybody that came over from my IG side, welcome you guys. If you enjoy anything with my streams or community, you're gonna love Nick, you're gonna love Jill, you're gonna love this stream as well. So I appreciate everybody coming on over. Jill says, G Squared, I can't wait to find out you and Nick are actually related somehow.
Dude, it's gonna be really funny. Like it's gonna, because like, hey, the Washington area, right? It's who knows.
Right. And then
my dad was an interesting dude, so I don't,
Anybody who didn't catch the stream last night got my new Bucky's hat.
Damn right you do.
Now, I know I've asked you before, but I forgot the answer. Have you experienced Bucky's, Nick?
Oh yeah, we did a whole thing on the stream about it.
Oh, that's right.
We had the pic. Remember, I burned my arm on the beaver out front.
Yes.
Well, I burned my hand. Jill actually legit burned her arm on that damn brass beaver.
Ow. Yeah, I mean, if you're out, especially if it's a Texas one, that thing's just in the sun all day.
Woo. That's a hot
all day.
Never mind.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Careful.
Whoa. Whoa.
Happy lunch, everybody. So yes.
You gotta keep this channel monetized.
Oh wow, and look at this. Vaughn, first time catching the stream live, and he said he's gonna be able to make some more the next couple of weeks because his baby boy was born yesterday.
Oh man, congratulations.
Dude,
First.
Ooh, good question.
Wonder.
Yeah, I don't know.
That makes a difference.
Yeah. Bucky's is creeping north. There's one in Kentucky. That's the first one on our route because it used to be just Texas, Yep. So there's one in Kentucky, and then there's 2 or 3 in Georgia that we hit along the way as well.
And now there's that one that we went to, which I guess was the new at the time. It was the newest Bucky's, the one that we went to right outside of Knoxville.
Oh wow, yeah, they're slow. I'm cool. They're still we've caught Buc-ee's at a time where it's tolerable and you can walk around and look at stuff. But we've also, even just on this trip, we've caught it where it is, you can't breathe, you can't fathom the crowd and how packed in that place is. It gets crazy. I don't know how the crowd was for you guys.
Dude, you know, it's funny you say that because like it looked really bad outside. Like we got in the parking lot and I'm like, nope. And then like we got in there and it was like very well, they were managing it really well. And then the next time I went there, I didn't even pay attention to the outside because the first time was so easy.
Right.
And it was
disregard.
Like, oh yeah, this store is easy. Don't ever worry about it ever again. Check mark. My brain doesn't worry about things if it doesn't have to.
Wrong.
Wrong. Went in there, didn't even think about it. It was like lines all the way back into the sodas.
Oh yeah, the like bathroom line for the women's side, it was going literally all the way back to the cooler, like crazy.
Yeah. Nope.
Crazy.
Jill said it, so I don't have to. This is why we're married.com.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. One hot beaver. Mm-hmm.
It was a hot beaver.
Yep. Absolutely. All right. And just in case anybody was concerned, Julie, aka Mom, her phone is on the fritz, but she's here and watching. Shout out to Julie. We need to help fix her stinking phone.
Oh boy. I feel a phone call with a 12-year-old from my house happening later with grandma.
There you go. He'll walk her through it.
Oh yeah, Jack is 1000% my mom's official tech support now these days.
I love that.
He took my job. Damn kid took my job.
Gives him some personal ownership, a little bit of pride. That's super cool.
That's it.
Super cool. All right, Nick, got a picture to show you. We're gonna dive into the Instagram segment I like to feature here. And I would like you to explain. We call this
segment, hey Nick, remember this?
Oh, I like that. All right, guys, it is time for one second. We need to do this for official.
Totally stealing that. Nick. Oh, that's happening. I just stole it. It's mine now.
All right. Hey Nick, remember this? Okay. So hey Nick, let's see if you remember this one. He doesn't know what's about to. Hey, what's up, Jason? About to come up here. Nick, go ahead and take it away. What's going on in this picture and then beyond?
So that would be Adam Ray dressed as Dr. Phil, holding Jill's phone, taking a selfie with himself and Jill and I at the stage there at the MGM Fenway in Boston. So he last week on Thursday, Jill says her life was completed on this day.
I love that so much, Jill. That you don't know how much that makes me happy.
It was fantastic. So last Thursday we went to go see Dr. Phil live, and he doesn't. So a couple of things to note, right? In case you guys haven't seen, go out there
right.
And just do yourself the damn favor, right? Like that I am an over explainer. I will happily explain anything to anybody. This one, I'm actually there's no words. Like just go watch Adam Ray doing Dr. Phil live on YouTube. And then you'll get it. And so we went to go see this show. And one of the things that you'll see is that he doesn't publish who his guests are. So he always brings on a panel. So he has guest comedians or other celebrities or other people come on, and you never know who they are. So there we were, front row. So like there's three sections, right? There's like the way it was is like you had like 101, 102, 103 kind of, right? So it's like a big center section, two smaller side sections, right? And you got the two aisles that kind of go all the way through the venue up to the stage, up to the front. So we were all the way at the front of one of those aisles, row A, seat 1 and 2. So it was like we're on the aisle. And it's like, it's shaped the other way basically, but similar. And so it's like, we're right up in the front, and it was the guests he brought out were incredible. It was, I don't know if for anyone who follows Kill Tony, you'll know who the first guest was. It was randomly, he says, and all the way from Austin, Texas, we have someone coming out. You know him from Kill Tony. You know him from here. You know him from there. And I was like, oh my God, who's he bringing out? Like, is he bringing out, like, I thought at first he was bringing out Will Montgomery. I was like, holy crap, I'm bringing out Will Montgomery, is he? And I was like, and then he introduced it was Cam Patterson. So Cam Patterson got introduced out onto stage, first guest. He was freaking incredible. And
That's
then
so good.
oh yeah, it was so good. Yeah, so that's the open floor seating. That's if they have like a floor event, that's how they have it out with no seats on the floor, which is interesting. We went to a concert there once where they had that set up, which is cool.
That's really cool.
So they brought out Cam, and then we had and then after Cam he brought out Julian Edelman from the Patriots, and then after Julian Edelman they brought out Matt Rife, which was like, Matt Rife, for example, love him or hate him, like for the next show he's playing in Boston, he sold out the TD Garden. So I mean, like he's selling out full arenas. Like this was a sold out 3,600 person show. I mean, that's going to be a sold out 10,000 person show. And so the kid next to us, he was cracking me up. He's this videographer guy, and he looks over. He's the one that gave him that jersey that he's wearing.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he was sitting next to us, and he gave him that jersey after the show, and he sits there and he takes off his suit jacket and puts on the jersey right there on stage and takes the photos with everyone wearing it.
That's amazing.
So it was super cool. So the guy next to us was like, "Holy crap! Like, what?" He's like, "Forget how cool this is." He's like, "What a value!"
Right.
He's like, "Do you have any idea how much front row tickets for Matt Rife is going to be when he sells out the Garden?" And he's like, and as a guest on this show, like Matt was out there probably just as long as he would be for his own standalone set.
No way.
I mean, he was out there with them for an hour. The show was damn near 2.5 hours long. It started, doors at 7, show at 8. It started a little late, but went until like 10:45. I mean, it was like a 2.5 hour, 2 hour, 45 minute of just, there was no opener. I mean, it's like, are you guys ready for Dr. Phil? And like, boom, he's out there. Like, it's him the whole damn 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Now, for people, they're going to look it up. But the premise of the show, is it purely interview and riffing, or is there sets that are written that people are performing? How does this work for someone that's not in that world?
Yeah, so it's mostly an improv show. So lots of crowd work. So he opens up with crowd work, and he goes around and he talks to people in the audience. And so this is where he gets Jill and I involved in the show, right?
Yes, we want to hear it all, by the way.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And so he, the way he kind of does it, I'll run through like the outline here, is like he does like the crowd work in the beginning, then he brings out a guest, and he kind of like involves the guest with things that happened during the crowd work and brings them in, like, oh, my buddy over here on his crutches after his dog almost killed him. He like makes jokes about things he learned about people while he's doing that.
Yeah.
And so, but then it's basically just an interview with like dumb stuff. It's like half serious, half just ridiculous interview. Like, and he's in character as Dr. Phil the whole time. And people refer to Adam Ray as his buddy. So like if Cam is talking about, he's like, well, he's like, I'm friends with like your homeboy, Adam Ray, and like he'll like talk to him as if he's a separate person. So it's kind of funny. But it's yeah. So anyway, he does, and then in between each person he has come out, he kind of does the same. He kind of just messes with people or whatever else. And like, for example, like he does one thing where he jumps off stage with the microphone and he runs through the whole audience. And he has this guy come out playing a guitar at the microphone, and he walks around the audience and sings, what's your name and what do you do? So he's like, and he's just singing it. It's like the only words to the song is, what is your name and what do you do? And he's just singing it to the whole audience. And he like walks around and finds people. And like this one guy, he just kept singing it and like interrupting the guy by singing it over and over again, singing it to him. And finally the guy's like, my name's Tim and I sell cell phones.
Everybody died.
And it's like right on there on like the big jumbotron, like the camera's following him through the audience.
That's
and there
so
was
good.
One dude, freaking this guy named Chris who worked at Olive Garden, and he comes up and he's like, my name's Chris and I work at Olive Garden, and he's like killing it, and he like gets all super into it, and he goes for like 2 minutes. And like Dr. Phil's like, yeah, I like the breadsticks. And he's like, I can bring you as many as you want, but only 3 at a time because you gotta ask me twice. And he's like, he just lays out the whole rules of like serving people breadsticks at Olive Garden.
But in song.
Yeah. Like while it's going, like in the crowd, like he was standing in the aisle, like while it's happening. And he's like, this one guy gave him his drink and he pounded it with him and drank it. And like, it was just, dude, it's like crowd work to the max. He's like all improv. And it's just everyone's cracking up the whole time.
So we have a part of the crowd work on the Dr. Nick's Instagram page. So if you guys check that out, I'm not going to play it on stream because stuff can get weird on YouTube for playing stuff like that. So I'm not going to do that. What's up, Donald? What's up, Arden?
Overview.
Yeah, and so I want to hear how they got to you, because that's the part and essentially, so you guys know, Nick and Jill get crowd worked by Dr. Phil, aka Adam Ray, and then somebody in the audience got a video because they hear them start talking about this amazing man stuff, Dr. Nick's company, and the person knows Nick and Jill and starts recording it, and neither side knew that they were at the same comedy show. And we
were so pissed to find out afterwards too, because we were bummed we didn't get to hang out beforehand.
Right, and this was your wedding photographer, right?
He's my good buddy, Tom Couture. Yeah, he's a photographer, and he was our wedding photographer. So he starts hearing him talk about a big beard, and then he looks on, because whenever he talks to someone, the cameras change and the two big side screens change to the person he's talking to.
Okay.
So he looks up and he sees me on the freaking jumbo screen.
What?
And so go figure, it's my freaking photographer buddy. So he pulls out his phone, he catches the last part and catches video of it.
Okay.
And sends me a text of it.
So hit us from the beginning. He's talking to someone else. How does it get to you, and how does it go? Because I haven't heard this yet.
So the person he's talking to before, I think it was the person before, as he was cracking me up. He's like, and what the hell are you two wearing? And he looks over, and like this two people stand up, and he's like, two couples stand up because the first couple thought he was talking to them. This couple in the front row. And they stand up, and he's like, no, not the two normal people that look like they work at Olive Garden. Sit down. He's like, I'm talking about the two behind you that looks like they crawled out of a Jumanji board because someone rolled double sixes.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Amazing.
Oh, I was dying. So then he's panning around, he's talking to someone, and he looks over and he looks at me and he's like, holy hell, it looks like Rip Van Winkle woke up. And he looks over at me and he's like, well, look at you, man. He's like, he starts, I forget what he first asked. So when all of a sudden it happens, like you forget all the words, you just remember it happening.
Yeah.
And then he says something about the beard, and he's like, and who's this pretty lady sitting next to you? And I was like, well, that's my lovely wife, Jill. And he's like, all right, Jill. He's like, so from a woman's perspective, he's like, do you like the beard or do you not like the beard? And she's like, we like the beard in our household. And then I of course, and like we're sitting there, I threw it out there. And he's like, because we talk about that in chapter 6 of my book, We Have Issues. And he holds a copy of Dr. Phil's book. Oh no, that was about the facial hair on women.
Yeah.
So he says something, and I was like, in fact, she likes it so much she runs a beard products company. She likes it so much. And
my gosh.
So like if you watch his show a lot, you hear him say it a lot. And Kill Tony says it a lot on his show. He's like, oh, easy. We didn't ask you to do a plug. He's like, oh, we didn't ask you to plug your company or whatever. You know what I mean? Like they always give people shit for plugging their name with their company.
Right.
And so I just threw it out there like that, right? Because I figured maybe that would give him something to just riff off of.
Right.
But instead of making jokes about it, he's like, well, why don't you go ahead and give it a little plug? What's the name of it? And Jill looks over and, he was looking at Jill. So she's like, Dr. Nick's Amazing Man Stuff. And first thing out of his mouth, he's like, Dr. Nick's Amazing Man Scrub Stuff. Well, we're going to need to go ahead and shorten that up for you. I was like, well, hey, we were just talking about dropping the Amazing Man stuff. Like,
even mentioned
said it right there on stage. It's
mentioned on stream last week. That's so funny.
Oh yeah, go figure. And then he's like, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and need to shorten that up for you. But dude, it was classic. It was super good. It was and so we what was it? We had Julian Edelman comes out, and he was just, he's everything that his other podcast, you listen to it, it's awesome. It's like guys and games with names, and it's an awesome podcast, and he's smart, he's articulate, you know what I mean, he's witty. He witty and has a lot more to say about things that aren't football than things that he has to say about football, which I really appreciate. But it was cool because like he did have a level of filter removed that almost seemed You know what it was? It's because he wasn't talking to Fox, right? He wasn't talking to ESPN.
Yep.
Like, people have asked him kind of off-color questions in big media outlets, and he's like, that's for everyone else to decide, or whatever, things like that, right? But I think he felt like he was on a much smaller platform than he's used to being on, right? And so for me, right, being on that would be a very large platform for me, right? And I would be careful what I said.
For sure.
Right? Now, you get Edelman on there. That's like one of the smallest platforms he's probably ever been a part of.
His whole life.
Yeah. Because he's been in the spotlight forever, right? Yep. Ever since high school. And so you look at that, and I feel like he had a level of like calm, lack of filter, casual, kind of like less concerned with what he said that was going to be used against him sometime in the future or something like that.
Yep.
Like, he talked about what it was like backstage at the Tom Brady roast. He talked about what it was when, what it was like trying to roast Tom. And he's like, he's like Kevin Hart had such a hard job. He's like, love him or hate him, whatever you do. He's like, that guy had the hardest job. He's like, he had to make it okay to tell the most sensitive person in the world jokes about them.
Right.
He's like, we all went in there terrified. He's like, we all had these jokes. He's like, great. He's like, and Tom's like a super sensitive dude.
Right.
That's like the way he said it.
That's
like
amazing.
He's like, and Tom's like a super sensitive dude. So like, we were all really nervous to like make fun of him.
And he did get mad a couple times on the show too.
Oh, he did. You could tell.
Which is fun. Yeah, and he's the greatest football player of all time and all this stuff. So he's super like tuned into his legacy. So that's hilarious. And Nick, Jill made me put this up. That's a pretty strong endorsement. She said incredibly handsome.
Well, I mean, come on. He is the only dude that can tuck a cotton shirt into a pair of jeans with a belt on and not get made fun of the whole night, and instead get called incredibly handsome. He's a good looking dude.
Yeah, he's jacked. And he's an interesting one because he went to a small college. Yeah. And he was a quarterback in college. Yep. Yeah. And he converted over to wide receiver, which is super interesting because he was small. And this is, if you're a sports person, you'll get what I'm about to say here. He's small, and he was a white dude playing a position that's not commonly for white dudes. And it wasn't the position he even played in college or high school or anything. And he came into the hardest, most tough coach in the history of NFL, of football. And so when you talk about like the smaller platform and bigger ones, and he had to watch his mouth again around Bill Belichick his entire playing career because that place
for a long time in a lot of ways.
Yeah. And so
it was
super
funny,
interesting.
He talked about that actually quite a bit. He talked about he's like, listen, he's like, I'm not one of those dudes that got like brought up through scouts and recruiting through high school and college. He's like, I had to go. He's like, I had to go JUCO, and he's like, and not everyone that I was playing with was a JUCO guy. He's like, so on top of playing a different role, on top of not being there what I was there for, on top of having a really hard coach, he's like, I was a square peg in a round hole. He's like, I figured out how to fit it in there. He's like, but I never cut off my corners. He's like, I was always a square peg in a round hole.
Yeah. So that's awesome. So how was the crowd around you? Were everybody pretty cool, or were they annoying?
Yes, except for one very much standout. So he's talking about something about aliens.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, and this chick had, I noticed her, she'd been like, just kind of like sauntering up the aisle back and forth, kind of the whole show.
Yeah.
And you were like, security's just kind of dealing with her because she hasn't really caused any problems yet, but they've told her to go sit back down a couple of times.
Okay.
And all of a sudden he says something about aliens, and she's like, I'm an alien. And like, up in the air, out in the audience, it's like, I'm an alien from the androgynous system. I'm an alien. And like, and he's like, well, okay. Now what made you get up in your seat and want to come here and participate? And so, like, and then he's like, all right, Liz. He's like, before we kick you out, I'd just really like to know, and starts asking her questions. And then at the end, he was like, all right, Liz. He's like, you seem like you're okay. How about we give you one more opportunity to go back to your seat and enjoy the rest of the show? And he's like, how about that? And she's like, Okay.
Did she make it?
She made it, but
Wow.
she's like, my sister hates me. And Phil's like, well, she's not waving because she's out getting the car warmed up.
Right. No, and he's good because he does that a lot at shows. Like somebody will get worked up and he'll give them a chance. And he's like, hey man, I'm giving you a chance. And then when it crosses the line, he's like, well, now everyone paid for the show and it's about you. Now you need to go. I think he's the best at it because
dude, he's really, really good at it. Like the way, and sometimes he turns those people that are like, sometimes he'll get like people in the audience that get offended about something. He'll make fun of them then for being offended. And then they come around and then he actually does work them into later in the show and like makes them feel good by including. So he like turns them around and then makes them feel, he turns trash into cash quite a bit as far as crowd work goes.
All right. And then everybody in the chat, who would be your
he's like, no, guys, this is going to be good. Trust me.
Who would be your comedy dream show, living or dead? If you could go see a comedian and it was your choice, who would you go see at a dream show? Because Adam Ray's up there for me. For me, that's tough because I am such a big comedy fan. Dead, I mean, there's obviously a bazillion legends, Carlin, all the way back stuff. But for me, Mitch Hedberg and Ralphie May.
Mitch Hedberg, dude, that was the one.
Mitch Hedberg is probably my one.
Dude, Mitch Hedberg would be right up there for me. Sam Kinison would probably be like, just because like I grew up on Sam Kinison, like stand up, like on TV. Like I remember Sam Kinison during like, Desert Storm and stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like where he was making fun of like Scud missiles and stuff. He's like, if Walmart was an arms dealer, they would sell the Scud missile. You'd get it. You'd go out in the parking lot, shoot it off and go home and watch CNN and see where it landed. He's like, we're not scared of the Scud missile.
Yeah. And Adam Ray, I would like Adam Ray. I would like an Adam Ray show featuring his different characters where he goes out and maybe has a host. And so as he goes and does like a costume change, he comes back as his different characters, whether it's Dr. Phil.
Like 4 hours of makeup, though.
Yeah, that's true.
That'd be sick, though.
Oh, man, because like I'm blanking on it right now. Who's that's what's up? What character is that?
Jared?
Jared, yeah. That's my favorite character in all of comedy.
Hilarious.
He's all of comedy. Good. That's my number one right there.
He's so good. And what I like most about it is I was in just the right state of mind the night that episode aired. Jeremy, sorry.
Jeremy.
And I did not catch on at first that it was Adam Ray. Like it was probably I bet you I was damn near 10 minutes in or something before I realized it was Adam Ray that was coming out. I was like, oh no.
And it's so good. So dang good. I'm a big Jeremy fan. And so if you guys haven't seen, it's just this little guy that he does. And that's what's up. And he's got a lisp and he's just
Andy Pack.
So good.
He lives at his mom's house and complains about his stepdad.
Yep. You got to check it out. So yeah, those are big. You guys are mentioning some greats. I like Dave Chappelle pre-political angles.
Same. I like Dave Chappelle like half-baked era.
I like Chappelle Show era the most for me and following that. But I don't want to go to a show and have people try to tell me, and I'm talking any direction. I don't care what direction. I'm just not into that. Mitch Hedberg. His style is electric. It's just the jokes just hit so hard and
so good.
Yeah, so many good ones.
I was
Robin
just thinking,
Williams, yeah.
Oh yeah, Robin Williams, George Carlin, of course. Though I was just thinking about Mitch Hedberg the other day. I was looking at a menu and they had like multiple club sandwiches. It wasn't just like one club sandwich. It was like multiple styles of club sandwich. And all I could think about was the Mitch Hedberg skit about club sandwiches.
Oh, dude,
he's like, if you want to be a club sandwich, he's like, you need to have 3 pieces of bread and be cut into 4 sections that are triangle shaped. And you can have chips in the middle Or potato salad.
Oh man. So kind of combo story here. So my parents are here. They came in last night. We just reached out. We're like, hey, we got an Airbnb. Just get yourself down here. You stay for free and come hang out with the family. So they flew in last night, but there was a delayed flight because of weather. So they had it delayed a couple hours. And they were yeah, right. They were talking about their airport experience. And one of them was a kid was coming up the escalator. Mitch Hedberg story, right? An escalator's not broken, it's just stairs. And kid was coming up, orange vomit projectile everywhere, and then had to get past like another part of like security or the airport. They said he threw up like 2 or 3 times on his way to the garbage and was about to get on their plane. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And then
was this a little kid or like a young adult?
I think a little kid.
Okay.
And what was getting on their plane and stuff. And it's like, hopefully he drank too much orange pop, like hopefully that's the case. But they get on the plane, they have to get off because there's the delay. So they get them off, they finally get them back on. And then they tell me about the crazy lady, and they're over here probably listening to the story. They told me about the crazy lady that there's a guy who had a window seat. There was 3 seats and it was just 2 of them. All right, final boarding, everything's closed. The lady still chose the center seat when she could have moved to the aisle to have space between them. And they said she didn't stop talking the entire time and was going on riffs like, you need to go be a race car driver. It's your dream and your like fate, and I believe in you. And then ended up kissing him like on the way out. And just, there's never an airport trip without we've said this before, without somebody downright crazy.
It's like I don't know what cave someone kicked a rock out in front of, and these people have come running out and occupying airports and airplanes and other places. It's like, holy hell. It makes
no sense.
No, because people, I swear, man, like Jill was just talking about it. We were just talking about it like a couple weeks ago. I think we talked about it on stream. People like the crazy meter is different than it used to be. Like the crazy meter has more numbers, and I feel like there are more people in a different half of it than there used to be.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I'm a personable person, right? I like talking to people. I actually love people asking, "What do you do?" And I get to talk about YouTube and beard stuff and all that. I now wear like over the ear headphones at the airport and on the airplane just because I've had such bad luck with people that are just socially unaware, where it's like, I want to be personable. Yeah, tone deaf. Yep.
Right.
Like
they are. And I want to be personable too, but I don't want to have to turn into an asshole when I want to maybe end a 4-hour-long conversation. Exactly. I want to look at this for a minute now. And you know what I mean? Like, it's like, how do you get that through without being like just blatantly rude about it? But there's people that don't get it. Like, okay, you said something to me, so now I'm going to talk to you until we get to where we're going.
Oh, and even I'll pause the convo. Let's say I do have a talk with somebody, and then I put the earmuffs back on or the headphones back on. They'll still, like, I had a lady on my last trip. She still was just talking to me. She didn't even like tap me or anything. She's just like talking like she assumes I can hear. And I'm like, this isn't how this works. Like, this is my cue to you to like just let me be for a little bit, because I did want to do some work. I did want to listen to Kill Tony. Like, man. And it's just the tone deaf part. And it's just like, and there was a guy by me on my last flight who, and hey, everyone's got all their stuff and their battles and everything, but I could tell, cut his own hair, and he missed like massive spots on like the back of his neck. But then also like his beard had like, he buzzed. I could see clearly where he buzzed it, but there would be like huge like growths on his cheeks that he didn't get and all this stuff. And I couldn't stop staring at it when he was talking to me. And he was telling me, yeah, he had a theory for everything. And it was like, he was telling me about and it wasn't exactly conspiracy theories. It was more just like the most random theories ever that you could imagine.
But they all end in conspiracy theories.
Kind of, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
Like mustard is all the same color yellow because 9/11 was an inside job. And they're like, okay. And it's like, where does that come from?
Exactly. And so yeah, I've just been trapped in these ones. Oh wow, look at her. He said wife and I paid for a third seat on a couple flights recently. Wow.
I'm not above it. Like,
Yeah.
no, not at all, not above it at all. If that thing's $89, you bet your ass I'm buying it. Just it's like an insurance policy at that
Yeah.
point.
We like the method of if we're booking and we get to choose seats early, aisle window and hope nobody picks that center. And then if they do, just say, hey, do you want the window? And then we scoot
And then
over.
switch with them. But
Yeah.
then you do run the risk
Yeah.
of the person that's like window, aisle, window, hole, emergency row, B.
Yep. Yep. And there's some people, I have had a lady that, and when you're offering them, they're the center, you're offering them the window or the aisle, especially with two people that know each other, you think you're doing them a service. You know, you think you're kind. I had a lady that was just a rule follower, and she was like, nope, this is my seat. I don't feel comfortable leaving what's on my ticket. And I was like, no, we just like me and you we just switch seats, and that was
The
it.
way
She
you
went
get them
to
is the way you get a woman like that too. If like you just to spice things up, be like, oh, don't worry, they'll know from the dental records that you move seats right away when they check us out. Don't even worry.
That's
They're not gonna mess that up, Carol.
And Leo says he believes Randy coined the term obliviate, combining oblivious and idiot. Yeah, I got it. Obliviate.
Yep.
I like that.
Oblivion. I love that.
I like that because it's like they're probably very intelligent. They're probably too intelligent in a traditional way, not a social way or a functioning way. But oftentimes they're like too smart, or they're so into their job, their studies, that they just don't get out and interact and become people. And I swear I keep getting those, not the people that are like, oh my God, YouTube, that's really cool. Let's talk about YouTube. They're more like, let me talk about these random things that, mustard color. And he had a
How many bugs are in fancy ketchup?
dude, he had a full theory about why I can't, like, just like Disney princesses, and why the order of Disney princesses were coming out, and why they, like, it was bizarre, and I didn't know how to respond because I'm nice, I'm nice. So I don't know how to respond in nice ways in many of those situations.
Yeah, and that's the problem though, is that like I do know how to respond nicely, and that's what I'm forced to do. And that's what I don't want to do the entire flight on an airplane. And and I guess that's what I'm trying to say is I think it's the same thing you're saying. Is like, do I mind striking up a conversation with someone I don't know on an airplane and having a good conversation back and forth and interacting? No.
Exactly.
But unfortunately, what I find more often than not is that I have to do what you just kind of outlined, which was give those fake responses like, oh, yeah, I guess I could see that.
Yep.
Oh, man, that must really get to you. Oh, well, right. I really hope that stops and works itself out someday. And it's like, you know what I mean? It's just like those, you're just sitting there like, okay, I
finally just went to like, dude, that's deep. Like, that's deep. Yeah.
Yeah. Or just like really, or just stir them up at that point. If like you're going to be awake and you're going to be distracted, at least just, why not work them up a little bit at least?
Yeah. Yep. Fascinating. Yeah. But fascinating. You start flirting with like being annoyed or that there's a date. So two sides. Cause if somebody hits you with like fascinating, it's like kind of like an insult. Like, no, not really. Or if you're like fascinating, they're like, oh, let me go deeper. Okay. Let me explain.
Yeah, game on. I was ordering lunch, but I don't want to be distracted.
Yes. So. Yeah, that's a rough one. And then, as always, I can't help but think about these flights without the people that the second it like ding the landing, and then the sign goes off, and they're just running and sprinting. It's like, just stay at your spot. Like, you have your seat for a reason, man. And then you get some guys that give the elbows out to block them, and then it's a whole thing, and it's just,
dude, it's like, listen, when it dings, the only appropriate movement is that if you're in an aisle seat, you stand up and open the bin ahead of you, and then if you want to grab your bag and put that bad boy right down there next to you, or if you're traveling with a kid and a wife, then you grab Your wife's, you give that to her right in front of her seat. You give the kid one right next to you. You put yours in front of you. Boom. Sandwich the kid when you walk out, and away you go.
Yep.
Because like doing anything else, you're just going to make it take longer. Like you're getting in people's way. And it's like, if you get your crap, get it on the ground where your wheels are touching the floor. Yep. And if that's the rows in front of you are going to empty out at the same speed they're going to, whether or not you're in the aisle or standing in front of your seat.
Drives me crazy. And yeah, you're in the aisle. You get out, you get your bag, you put it in the seat because you're still going to be standing. You're not taking up space. You're good to go. And then you can go from there. But you also need to do the other person in the aisle across from you. Do that little dance of like, you going first? Am I going first?
Are you older, or do you look less mobile than me?
Right.
And if the answer to either of those questions is, or if you're a guy, ladies first is my opinion.
Yep.
Call me old fashioned. That's what I do.
Agreed fully.
And if it's and you know, that's up to you, I think. But it's like, yeah, you know, ladies first, no, women, children, all right, cool. You're older, you need help, you don't, all right, stay there, I'm moving.
100%. Right. I'm gonna be faster. This is gonna make us all more comfortable, you know. Right. And so let's do this. So
you can take your time if I get out of here, because I'm annoying. Trust me, I walk fast.
Yeah. Now you have more experience with this than me. So for domestic flights, they traditionally say 90 minutes before the flight. I am a well-prepared person, right? I'm early to everything. Live streams, live travel. I get there with at least the 90 minutes. My last like 10 flights have been obnoxiously quick through security and through getting through the airport. I've never had near a close call. What is acceptable now? Where is our rule? Because for me, it does not appear to be 90 minutes. And I've done night, morning, day, Detroit, or anywhere. 90 hasn't made that. I've had an obnoxious amount of time.
I have never once in my entire adult life been 90 minutes to an airport before a flight, like ever. Yeah. Like that would be like me if I had to spend the night at the airport. Would be the only reason I'm there that early for a flight.
I didn't know that.
No, so for me, and you know what though, I will say I was probably a little over an hour before a flight, before boarding for a while. But after flying so much, like the busiest Monday morning, Logan Airport, flying from Logan to Atlanta, Terminal C, worst case scenario, parking lot full and it's raining outside. Like still 30 minutes before boarding. Like I in the parking garage, 30 minutes before boarding, not inside the airport. Like if my flight leaves at 9, I know that means I board at 8:30. That means that my ass is pulling in that parking garage at 8 o'clock.
Okay.
And I'm going to be in the garage 8 o'clock. I'll be into security 8:15, 8:20. I'll be out of there, walking to the gate, boarding group A, you know, biggity bam, 30 minutes later, like ready to go.
And see, I went by this. So we have Flint and Detroit.
It does matter.
And so Flint is, you can have 15 minutes for every single flight, every single part of the day, no matter what. I mean, there's not a resemblance of a line. But I'm talking the biggest I just flew into LaGuardia. I flew out of LaGuardia, Orlando. I've done San Antonio. I've done Hartford. I've done big, small. I've done everything in between. I've never had one that's been more than a half an hour.
You know the ones that'll make it take longer?
What?
And it's the only time I've noticed, and it's only at a couple airports. I'll say it's Denver.
I haven't been there.
Tampa.
I have not been there.
Oh, and then I forget. There's another one out west that I always have problems with, but especially Denver and Tampa, for example, their rental car returns are a monorail ride to get from the rental car return to the airport, and then in Tampa you have a monorail ride from the rental car return to the main terminal building, and then you have another monorail to get from the main terminal building to each lettered terminal.
Okay.
So then in Atlanta, you have the damn train that goes.
The Atlanta one I've been to many times.
Yeah. And so I would say, okay, so if I know I'm going to Tampa, then I am an hour before boarding, because I know I got to get to the rental car place an hour before boarding so I can get in there, get the monorail, get inside through security on the other monorail, and then through there and then out. And it's like any one of those things could go pretty sideways. So I do give myself extra time. Okay. But I'd say more than size of airport, I'd base it on the logistics of the airport. Yeah, the setup of the airport.
Okay, well, that's good to hear.
I'm notorious 30 minutes before boarding.
All right, because I'm paranoid with that stuff. I'm still the guy that when I get there, even if I have 90 minutes, I still have to go to my gate to make sure it exists and make sure
Yeah,
that like my thing is out there. I have to see
me
it.
too.
And then I can go get food. I can go
Same.
get snacks, but I need to physically see my gate. Sam makes fun of me for it. And I'm
I do
like,
too.
no, I just need to make, because like the last one I had, it was like 17A. And I'm like, A? What the heck? Well,
Okay.
essentially, it was at the end of a hallway and it was 17A and B, and they were just at the end. And so
Yeah.
they were like, we don't know what to call it. And so, but I have to see it. I've got to physically see the gate, and I get made fun of for it, but I can't help it.
I'm right there with you. I do the
Okay.
same damn thing. Even after flying so much, I do it. It's
Yep.
like, yeah, no,
As long as I have it.
it's like one of those things. It's one of those weird sensors. It's like turning down the music when you're looking for an address in the dark. It's like we were just talking about the same damn thing.
Automatic. Even in
like,
the
oh,
light.
crap, where am I?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Or like if I get a phone call, it's automatic to my kids. Quiet, guys. Even if they're just like tired, it's just like, I don't know. It just happens. I just do it. So yeah,
ridiculous.
I do that. Find my gate first. Okay, then I'm gonna tell Sam to stop making fun of me. I'm not the weirdo here. Okay.
Who else travels with someone that can stand at a gate waiting for boarding for 40 minutes and then within about a minute and a half before they're going to call boarding has to go pee?
Oh, yeah, that's not me, but I do
Spoiler
know.
alert, I can let everyone guess who it is.
Oh, Jack. No.
Thanks, Dan.
Right, yeah. Yeah. Oh, kids these days. She's at okay, easy. Hey, presumptuous, Jill.
He's really protective of Jack.
Yeah, right. He's in school. All right, we're good. No, that's hilarious. Oh my gosh. All right, guys, we are in overtime, and I'm having a community meetup. Hopefully, actually, some of you I do know are going to be there. And so I'm excited to be able to hang out, you guys. We'll get some pictures up and all that jazz. And then next week, guys, same place, same time. We will be here. I'll be back in the studio back home. And that's all I got, man. Thank you guys for hanging out. This is such a fun thing. Nick was a little bit exhausted from all the ailments and stuff. I know this picked him up. I have been walking on a bum foot throughout Disney for 2 days and had the same kind of thing. I also drove 21 hours in 2 days. And so I get it, but dude, I'm juiced. I'm ready to go. So thank you guys for a great time. Nick, any final words for our friends?
Oh man, just if you're traveling, get home safe. Whether it looks like it's going to be basically raining over the entire right half of the country for the next week.
Yep.
So travel safe, stay warm. Spring's around the corner. I found pollen all over my car this morning.
Oh, everywhere here. It's pure yellow.
Guys, we're so close. Just stay with us. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. And we're gonna see you guys back here on April 8th. Dan will be home and I'll be here.
All right, guys. Have an amazing rest of your week. We'll talk to you soon.